Warheads, and welcome to the League, exploring the League of Legends lore from A to Z. My name is Rebecca.
And I'm John.
My name is Mark.
Today we're talking about the River King Tahm Kench, who was released July 9th, 2015. Still not my fucking birthday. Still another July one. Still not my goddamn birthday.
We're getting there.
One of these days.
We'll get there. I have Ari on my birthday.
Ooh, there we go.
See?
That's a good one.
Jamie gets one, and we get a
Spoiler
couple.
alert.
Oh, apologies.
Spoiler
no.
alert. We're joined with a guest today.
Plug your ears.
Jamie Justice.
Hello.
Hello.
This is me. I am the Jamie of Justice.
If you've ever tuned into any of our streams, you've probably heard Jamie Justice playing ARAMs with us.
A few.
So, what made you decide to join us for Tahm Kench specifically?
So when I started playing around 2019, I was going around through many champions that I wanted to play, and I felt somewhat interested. But the ones I picked, such as Vel'Koz, Syndra, great champions, not for starting out. And Tahm Kench really got me into the lore in terms of just he is a perfect personality, lovely gentleman. I love his top hat and the
So
whole
jaunty.
idea of him just consuming people and a very Louisiana rough accent of his. Just solid character.
Yeah,
sure.
he's so distinct. Like, you're not confusing him with anybody else in
Not
this
at all.
game.
Yeah.
I like
There's very few characters that have like hit that top 10, like 10 out of 10 mark, and it's like Tahm Kench, Jhin, Asol, just perfect design.
Yeah.
Character-wise.
Already DC'd into the
Yeah,
call.
he reminds me a lot of Braum in that way,
Yes.
like a well-designed champion, very distinct and memorable, great quotes, and also he has some lore, but not a lot of it.
But not a lot of it.
Some.
He's the evil Braum. Aw.
Aw,
Oh, Mark disappeared.
Braum Kench.
Oh, Brom. I mean,
that's
it's
great.
Mark.
Oh, Mark. Aw, Mark is the Braum of the group.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, there
Thank
he
you.
is.
I came back just in time to get complimented. Hey.
Jamie accidentally called you Braum.
That's cool. That's fine. That's a compliment. Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's very comfortable.
What does Tahm Kench sound like? I did decide, Mark, you have to go last because you were born to do this accent.
have been-
We're not going to beat you.
Like, I'll be honest, I spent most of today talking like Tahm Kench to my baby. It's a really fun voice to do. You can just
Next
make
time you
up
DM
shit.
for us, there's just for sure going to be.
It's
All
funny
right.
that you should say that, Mark. That's the core of my quote game today.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
All right, I'm going to go first because mine's probably going to be the worst. I only read a few quotes, and I picked the one that this is like my approach to dieting. The only real sin is to deny a craven.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Very good.
I can't really do Tahm Kench.
You nailed it. All right, let's hear yours, Jamie.
Even without a bait, you can still cast a line and hope.
Ooh.
Nice.
I didn't hear that line. That's a good one.
It's very inspirational.
It's whenever
Right.
he uses it's whenever he use his ward. He
Oh,
says
really?
he has a
Nice.
lot of voiced lines.
He
and
really
it's
does.
incredibly
He
amount.
Yeah.
You're duller than a broken sandwich.
That's pretty good. That's very Graves. You kind of got into a Graves space with that, but it's a good. That's a really good
Listen,
Graves.
it's similar
All right,
to us.
hold on. You're duller than a broken sandwich.
There you go. You have to act like
Ooh.
there's a sandwich in your mouth. And then imagine
That's the
a
same
big
stupid joke.
imagine Tahm Kench's big tongue is in your mouth, and that's
Oh.
you
Basically,
talk
have
around.
Tahm Kench's big tongue.
Oh,
Are we trying to get
It's-
aroused, or what's happening in this episode?
they
Like,
really didn't
Too fucking
capture his gigantic tongue in the plushie that they made.
They
Oh.
do not at all. That should just
It's
be a
very
big
small.
tongue coming out.
That'd be pretty neat.
Yeah.
Straight up
They're
Licky
not
Tom
going to
plushie
make
should be.
Tahm Kench merch for another 30 years, so
Probably not.
I'll take it.
Can I do
All right,
a quote
Mark.
that's not a quote, but it made me laugh? The
Sure.
idea of
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm bigger than you. I'm high in the food chain. Get in my belly.
It's really good. I was very
Why did you have to
tempted.
break the Austin Powers?
So early.
So I started thinking about it, and it made me laugh a lot.
That honestly is really good.
I was so tempted on doing a very similar thing. I wanted to, when we asked to do quotes, I was going to be like, get a $5 fill meal at your local KFC. It's finger looking good.
He does have that energy.
Yes.
Man.
Get in old yawn belly.
Young Billy. That would be like his restaurant name.
He should be in the food AU, man.
He is in the food AU.
Yes.
Oh, is he?
Yes, he's a chef. Yeah.
Oh, fuck, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Damn. I guess I meant more as like a fast food mascot. I didn't think about him as
Right.
like a...
That would be really good.
Oh no, he's a master chef.
Okay.
Master Chef.
I have a dumb question asked 10 minutes in, but did we go over like audio and recording in Audacity and everything with Blue Jay beforehand?
Yes.
John? Okay. It's like, wait, are you recording? Yeah. Sorry.
I did it via chat earlier, but always good to
Yeah,
double
yeah.
check.
Yeah, good. Anyway,
Ever since the Great Faye incident,
we did start
where
recording with
I
Faye.
forgot to tell her until several minutes into the recording.
Yeah. We're like, wait, Faye, are you recording? And she was not.
Yeah.
So what?
Recording?
Oh, man.
My
No.
bad, Faye. That was my bad.
All right. Well, on the Riot Universe page, Tahm Kench has his bio, short story, one short story, 2 videos, his champion teaser, and the Legend of Bilgewater, which is just a telling of the one short story that he has on his page. He also has some concept art and a champion insights link, which just leads you to the game updates. I'm sure it's there somewhere. You just have
You
to.
know, honestly, it's not.
No?
I had to go.
You'd have to go back several years, and it's literally all the patch notes are there.
I
Like,
went back as far as it would let me go, and
Really?
it wasn't there.
All
Although
right.
I did find it on Google afterwards, but it's
Oh.
basically like, it's not necessarily a Wayback Machine, but it is someone who just kind of screenshotted.
An even lower tech solution. Someone
Hell yeah,
inscribed
Ryan.
it
Very
on,
lovely.
like,
Let's
chiseled
Thank
it.
you, Ryan.
And I actually do have bits of it copied because I found them very funny.
Really? Okay. I'll be curious.
By the way, the bio is by Odin Austin Schaefer and Ariel Lawrence.
oh, 2
Ooh, a
Tag team.
double?
writers.
Ooh, tag
Two
team.
writers for 2 coats.
Which makes sense because there are 2 separate short stories.
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like. All right, well, the bio. Tahm Kench, just a normal demon in Bilgewater. His bio is kind of different because Tahm Kench is a legend and should remain as such. So we're not getting like where Tahm Kench came from or anything like that. And his goal is really just to like tempt people and eat their sins, you know?
Let me get them out of here for you.
Oh my goodness.
Cleanse your soul.
Yummy gluttony.
And I guess to be fair, Tahm Kench, not from Bilgewater or
Oh, right.
exclusively
That's true.
in Bilgewater, but the version of Tahm Kench that we see in game is the Bilgewater version of Tahm Kench. There's like, you know, he has no form himself, kind of like Evelyn, but
Okay,
that's how
yeah.
Bilgewater people see him.
Sure, but they still see him as a fish, don't they, in other
they
places?
see him
Yeah.
as a-
Yeah.
Well,
They do in
I don't
Zon.
know.
They do in Zon. They call him a
probably
big
see.
fish. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I would assume
So-
he's fish-like in all of them because he does stick to the rivers.
yeah.
in the
Yes.
lakes that he's used to.
He's gonna snuck that one in. No one saw that shit coming.
Anyway. Anyway, so he doesn't really have a backstory, but a couple of examples of how he tempts people. And okay, he doesn't eat their sins, he eats them in a way.
Yeah.
Sometimes physically, sometimes metaphorically, you know? Anyway, the very first stories about Tahm Kench came from Serpentine, who told, people told about a huge fish with a big fat mouth. who would promise people great things for a small sacrifice. The first story we get is about a raftsman who wanted more than his poor, sad life. Tahm Kench said he could give him more if he just told a lie to his brother. So he did, and later he was shown a fork in the river that led him to a camp of people who offered him new good food and a lovely evening. Oh my god, sorry. The raftsman saw Tahm Kench again, who said he could have an even better time, but he had to tell another lie. So the raftsman agreed and lied to the people at the camp, and then he was granted another fork in the river that led to, like, a sick rave, I guess. I don't know. The bio doesn't say.
Fuck yeah.
Just a bigger, better night. That continued to happen night after night. I'm really curious what that last night looked like. Like, that he's just stumbling upon people.
Shows up at Burning Man.
We're going to EDC.
I got you a ticket to Coachella. You take that river down?
I want raved out Tahm Kench. I want, like,
Two
Tahm
Coachella.
Kench.
To Coachella.
Fuck out of here. Oh my god.
That's it. That was the peak of the episode. We're done.
Well, thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Anyway, as this continued to happen night after night, lying became easier and easier. The river did eventually end, though, and the raftsman found himself alone at sea with no one around and no way home. Bum, bum, bum. The second story we get is in Piltover. Tahm Kench was able to kind of easily go there once the sun gates from Bilgewater to Piltover were open. I like that he still needs to travel like a person. He can't teleport or anything. He's like, oh, I really need, like, I need to hit the bus, you know? I need to catch a train to Pilty. Anyway, in Zon, he's known as Two Coats because he's so big he has to wear two coats sewn together. That's how he got that name. It's, I think, his best one. He's got a lot of names. But
I did write a few of them down. That,
I like Yawn Belly, personally.
No, Yawn Belly is good.
I like the Great Waddler.
Yeah, it's true.
This is just talking about a pregnant person now.
In my notes,
I dare you.
I questioned whether or not did he learn to stitch? Did he stitch it himself? Did he have someone like his mother stitch it for him?
You know, it's funny because he doesn't have a form, you know?
No.
Like, he crafted this form himself, and he decided to make it, like, I feel like he could have just given himself a coat. But instead he was like, no coat is big enough for a creature my size. What if I just conjure up two coats that are sewed together? He didn't have to do that.
I almost like it because he's like reflective of the people, right? And so what does Zon see as like, ooh, a big creepy demons thing? He's wearing fancy coats and he's got two of them because, like,
I like that. I love that, actually. Yeah. I don't think he actually stitched them together. He just magicked it, stitched together. Probably. I don't know. He can't teleport. He needs a he needs a gate, but he can make his clothes. I don't know.
Well, it's just that the gate was blocking the river.
Moving on, there's a story that he was in Piltover one progress day and went to a Piltovan inventor and offered her an idea to get her some higher up attention. He just wanted a lock of her hair. She agreed, and the work she did with Tahm Kench landed her a really sick contract. She needed to impress her patrons, though, so she got another idea from Tahm Kench. This time, the exchange was all of her hair. She still needed better inventions, though, so the next time she gave Tahm Kench the tip of her finger and then her ear, and over the course of a year, gave up most of herself.
And that girl was Orion.
Or
she
Camille.
I was thinking Camille, actually.
Or
she
Renat.
She's just missing an arm. She called for Tahm Kench again, begged him to stop all this, so he ate her whole. Gum. Gum. That's kind of all we know of him. He has a lot of names. He's pretty well known, but people keep falling for his shit because they're greedy.
Yeah.
I love the idea of this type of demon. So, like, I feel like a lot of the times when you hear about, like, making deals with demons, their whole thing is, like, they will find a way to trick you, or they'll find a way to, like, cheat on the deal a bit, like, you know, like Monkey Paw, that shit. I love that Tahm Kench only targets people that he knows, like, I'm gonna give him some shit, but I know it's not gonna be enough.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna keep off, and he always makes good on his deals.
Yeah.
He's not tricking people. He's giving them exactly what he said he was going to give them. But he just knows the people to go to that he's going to get to eat.
No, it's really great. I like, because I find that other trope a little bit more frustrating. It could be kind of fun, but I like that Tahm Kench, his goal isn't even to kill people. He just wants them to like destroy their lives, and that's like what he's eating. It's so good.
I was so befuddled when I was reading over to the bio again, and I was in one of my notes I written that it was incredibly surprising to see that the first person, does not get consumed. He's left completely by himself, and Tahm Kench is absolutely satisfied by just the notion that he got exactly what he was looking for, which was this person being consumed by his greed. And it doesn't have to be literal, not always.
Yeah, we see that in the short story too. I really like the short story, and the reading of it is so good. And the idea is that if this Raspin does live, the temptation of Tahm Kench offering him things is still there, and it will always be there for the rest of his life. And he's either going to have to live with that and ignore it or give into it. Tahm Kench is so fun.
I mean, he's like addiction personified, right? Like, and then they get into that into the short story too. And I really liked that. I think I really like both those stories because they're so like storybook. Like taking a lock of hair is super storybook. And back in like Kale Morgana, I really didn't like those stories because they were trying to tell a story and were kind of muddled. And this is like two very clear, simple morality plays that you instantly understand. Oh yeah, don't lie. Lying's bad. Like this is what you would tell a little kid. Tahm Kench will get you to lie, or don't lose yourself or to your work type shit. It's very simple and straightforward, but very effective.
The moral of the story is the character.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah, and it's all things like that you could relate to even, or like, oh, just tell one lie, like I can do that. That's so easy. And just a little bit of my hair, even the tip of the finger, you're like, for like my whole future to be solidified, I just have to give up my fingertip. That's nothing. But then the snowball of it is just, it's really fun. Not for them, but
yeah. I like too how you can kind of track, the bio does a good job of tracking how he proliferates through his stories being told, because it starts out in like the Serpentine River Delta, and then they they spread out to Bilgewater, and then when trade opens up, it's not like literally the sun gates opened, right? It's like they start trading with Bilgewater and the tales flood in. It's a neat mechanism for him to spread, right? Which is cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot. He's definitely one of my favorite of the demons. He's probably my favorite demon.
I think. Yeah. I mean, he's the most well thought out of the demons. The other demons we have are, I guess, New Fiddlesticks is pretty fun.
Pretty good. Tahm is more fun.
I do like New Fiddle.
He's more interesting.
Yes.
And I like, I knew going into the bio that we likely weren't going to get, his history, his motivations, because they're all gonna suck, Like you can't write something good like that.
I don't need to hear about Tahm Kench being a little boy somewhere and he was consumed by his own greed that killed his papa, and then he ate a fish and the fish ate him. I don't know, whatever they were gonna
call it
fucking
the
come
old
up
reverse
with.
Jonah.
We call that the Jonah hex.
All right, you're done
good.
for the night, John. You're out.
Put him in like the penalty box.
We have a big animal crate in there for sure that you could fit in. That's where you have to spend the rest of the episode.
Gotta eat
Just
the
be yelling
ingredients to a
his
cake.
puns from I literally just watched that episode.
Oh my god. Shit.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But
I like how they did it. Just give us a few stories that show what he's all about. I think the only thing that I would like to see, and we do get a bit of this in the. What was that?
I think my phone fell off. So
we do get a bit of this like in the video, not the one of them telling the story, but like his kind of release trailer. But I would love one of these stories, but like through Tahm Kench's eyes, kind of like we got for Evelyn when she was kind of choosing her target and deciding like how she was gonna get him. Like I think that'd be pretty cool.
Mark froze. I have a look of surprise.
He
looks so. He looks like a little puppy. Oh, he's gone again. Oh. That was just the cutest little freeze. He was like... He's looking so concerned.
That's
You're not really going to put John in that crate, right?
Oh, fuck.
So
Yeah, oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
My only complaint is very similar to John's, where I wish we had more of his own perspective, and I think that's what we get with a lot of his interactions in Legends of Runeterra, where it's him talking to each of these characters as their character. He's not trying to lure them or talk to them as if like he's making a deal with them. He's treating them like similar in game where he talks to other people, where he's treating them as like another person, and it's incredibly interesting because you see a very non-biased character in a world where everyone is sort of fighting for all this power. He's a person who's comfortable for what he is, who he is, and the notion in game, whenever he interacts with other characters, for example with Garen, is giving Garen the idea that he can get the if he makes a deal with Tahm Kench, he would get the love of his sister and the love of his nation. And similar with a lot of other characters like Darius, for example, and his brother, if I can, Draven, yes. Saying that Draven could have more popularity and fame to his name if Darius wasn't in the way. And I would love to see a short story of Tahm Kench that explores that idea, where he interacts with another champion that we know they're not going to get eaten up in the end. It would be an incredibly cool scene if it did, but I feel like it would be even cooler if we saw a scene where he just talks with somebody else.
Sure.
Which we kind of do get in the cinematic, where he does the little fourth wall break towards the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd be curious to go through like which champions would be really fun to pair him with. It was hard. I didn't really think about that aspect of it because I was very satiated with all the Tahm Kench stuff. I wasn't like, oh, what could you do with him? I was like, no, I'm pretty good with it. You know what I would like a short story of is him interacting with just making a deal with somebody, and I want it to be in the tone of The Boys and Bambolini, and that person to be a very tongue-in-cheek, very like obvious stand-in for someone who's way too addicted to League of Legends. And that to be the person who you just rains misery on this person because they're super into this
Just another game. One more game.
I was queuing up every night.
I think the champion I would want to see, if he's in Piltover and Zon already, I think Jinx would be really fucking funny.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
His interactions in the game and Legends of Runeterra is just him being plainly terrified. He's just like, wow, there is nothing that can satiate your taste. Which there really is not.
Yeah.
She's like his Mundo.
Yeah.
Very much his own Mundo.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that.
I'd be curious to get the short story behind it. I mean, kind of touching on Legend of Runeterra a bit. I want the short story behind his contract with, what is it, Jack? Is
Jack?
His name?
Yes, Jack.
Yeah.
Jack the Shark.
I want to know more about that. I want to know why he needs a contract to try and feast on the people in his hall instead of just being a demon and being able to feast there anyway. I mean, I'm sure he could if he wanted, but he's got to get something out of this Jack contract. I want to know what it is.
Well, it was a big missed opportunity. When Jack came out, it was the same, or I think close to the same update where they moved Tahm Kench out of rotation. So they stopped doing card interactions with Tahm Kench in general. So, yeah, it's a shame. We won't see that interaction with Jack for a while.
That's real rough. I wondered. I just assumed they just didn't want to fill anything out. I guess I didn't think about the fact that,
Possibly.
Yeah, they would be dropping the interactions. That is a shame.
Well, do we want to go over The Gambler's Woe?
Yeah.
Yes.
By Anthony Reynolds-Lene?
Yeah. So like you said, Rebecca, this is one of those like audio audio play. I don't know. Is that like a kind of way to describe it? We've gone through it with like Fizz had one,
Nautilus and Pike.
Yeah, and it's Lars. It's our old friend Lars telling us about his various interactions. Lars, the most popular man in Bilgewater.
Right.
Every champion. And his interaction with Tahm Kench. Very well acted. I still would like to know the voice actor for this, because he does a very good job. It's really a lot of fun to listen to. And he's essentially talking to us as if we are someone who has just come in from maybe like the dice tables in Bilgewater, kind of fat with coin. And he's like, you got yourself some coin there, don't you? I'm not a gambling man. And he goes into this spiel as like, I don't gamble anymore, but I used to. And so what happened was, as like completely without like apropos nothing, he just launches in.
He's deep in his cups at this point.
Yeah. But he was pretty poor. He had a single gold kraken, which I think is the one from Fizz. Is that what? Because he's like, I could tell you where I got it, but you wouldn't believe me.
I think that's the notion,
right?
Because I think the Fizz episode was before this one.
Yeah, they're in order, I think, but I didn't check the order.
They are.
And he's sitting there like, if I was smart, I would have paid my debts and I would have gotten a new job. But Tahm Kench swung by and is like, hey, why should you be doing harpooning, which is a very rough fucking job? You could have a ship and let other people do the work. And you can do it with the dice. And so he kind of agrees, and he has a wild night of gambling. He wakes up like middle of the day, doesn't know where the fuck he is, but he looks at the dresser, and there's all the winnings, more than enough to buy a ship, start his own venture. But why should you just buy one ship when you can have a whole fleet of ships? And off he goes. And then he's just like, I was just kind of lost in the sauce, right? Like, I was just gambling, and I would make a fortune and lose a fortune and win it all back. And it hit a point where, I was just caught he describes it like being caught in the whirlpool, just spinning down. And at some point, I kind of forgot why I was even doing it. I was just like so caught up in the chase. And then I started losing, and I started losing big, and I started trying to make it back, and I started losing more, and I would lie and cheat and steal, and I lost all my friends from, betraying them. And it got to the point where I was even more broke than I was before. I was sleeping in the gutters and eating rats if I was lucky, and drinking from puddles. He even sold his own leg for chum for money, which is I didn't know they did that in Bilgewater, but damn.
They'll do anything in Bilgewater.
It's true. And eventually old Tahm Kench shows back up and puts that same old gold kraken in his hand. He's like, well, Lars, we can always find you another fortune if you just hop in my mouth. And Lars is like, I was tempted. I almost got in that shit. But it's fine. I said no, and I don't gamble anymore, but I still kind of want to. And he does say, like, I can't really blame Tahm Kench. I mean, yeah, he led me to the cliff edge, but I did throw myself off it. And he's talking about how, like, he can't even really remember the time he spent, so he doesn't even know if he had a good time doing it. But the moral of the story is, don't make a deal with Tahm Kench. You've always got more to lose.
Nope.
Yeah.
Quick note. I struggle with reading, and I completely forgot that this was done by the official League of Legends, where they made this into audio drama. So I listened to a short story by this podcast channel called Prestige Edition, and the way that they do his voice so completely different to the audio drama. It's very like, well, let me tell you the story about how I meet Tahm Kench. I had a coin and I gave him a kraken.
Like Corky? Or
and I always attempt to
Like
steal
an old
it
prospector.
Oh, fuck. I gotta listen to that so bad now.
Yes. For anyone who's interested, they do both the bio and stories for a lot of the champions. So if you struggle like me with reading, they're a fantastic listen.
Oh, nice. Cool. Nice. Excellent. I really want to go hear that interpretation of it. Does it really change like the tone of the whole thing?
Yes, okay. Completely. I pictured him as a very like sort of short fisherman, like not someone who would do harpooning at all. Just a man that would just be on the ship and just get a paycheck because he was there.
Just a seat filler.
Right. Then meet the quota.
Right. Interesting. Very interesting. But yeah, it's really well voice acted. Like, I would really love to find this guy's credit, because he just does it makes me curious how much of this was like explicitly written. Like, I'm sure a lot of it was, but there are little like just little touches to like the way he says things, or will kind of like add in a begging your pardon type thing. And it's like, did he just like was he just in the character and like in the booth was doing that? I don't know. I get that sense a little. And yeah, it's really neat to picture. Like I said, the way he's talking about it, it's like, oh yeah, this is so apt to describe that feeling of like, man, even after all the shit I've been through, I still kind of want to do it. Yeah. And it just tugs at him every day. Like, I could go back to the dice. It's $5 men's down it.
It's
the
happy
good thing
hour.
about Tahm Kench is like, not only will he take everything from you, but he will also give just enough back that he can keep feeding for as long as he wants to.
Yeah, he gives you that rope to hang yourself with, right?
He leaves enough, like, small reminder. Like, with the woman in Piltover, it was the fact that she didn't have her hair anymore, the tip of her finger, the idea that she could turn back and he'll be there. And same thing with him, is that he remembers the coin that he gave to Tahm Kench. That's the start of the deal. And that if he wants to get inside that mouth at any point, all he has to do is just turn around and he'll just be right there.
Tahm Kench, like, if you want, just want to get in this mouth, just let me know.
Tahm Kench, what that mouth do?
Call this number. 555 Big Mouth.
Old Yawn Belly. 1-800 Old Yawn.
Seniors are standing by until 4 p.m.
I fallen and I can't get up.
Can somebody help me?
I've got you. Grab this slippery tongue.
You ready to get to the hospital?
Hospital?
Up on the
Oh my god.
That's what you do for me in game all the time. You just take me to the hospital. When you play Tahm Kench. I got you.
Put me in the hospital. Shit. I liked it in this one too. Lars does a Tahm Kench impression, which is also kind of funny to hear. He's not bad or anything. It's just funny.
No.
Also, Tahm Kench like is laughing a bunch in this, and it's like we're slowly, surely heading into fall, and it makes me think of like, ooh, Spooky Sound soundtrack was playing behind Lars. There's a creaky gate, there's some spooky laughter.
I've been listening to like Halloween lo-fi on YouTube. You know how they recommend you all these? It's great.
For sure.
Yeah, but I recommend listening to it over reading it. They work his like theme song in and all the other musical cues. It's really cool.
We didn't talk about, but fucking slaps.
Oh, his theme song's real good. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the music at the end is, and I can't remember. I know I've heard it a bunch of times. I think it's just a Bilgewater song.
It might be the Bilgewater theme, I think.
Okay,
because they kind of always play that
yeah.
at the end of his each
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did we want to do the his
teaser
cinematic that also just kind of like
it's another story.
It's just another short story.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it is just Tahm Kench just again is telling a tale, right, about some gambler spinning a yarn, right? Come on down, sit on Tom's lap. Yeah, it's him spinning a yarn.
I stitched this jacket and I can stitch you a story.
That's really good. That's a good line. He's telling a tale about a gambler who, was down on his luck and needed help, and Tahm Kench cut him a deal. He could take him anywhere he wanted. The whole world's a river, and Tahm Kench is the king. And so the gambler takes the deal, and he goes off to, they don't specify where. I guess I kind of assumed Piltover, but I don't know that for a fact. It's not specific. But he, it seems good for a little while. He finds a nice, young, pretty bride, and they're getting married. And on the day of the wedding, Tahm Kench shows back up and eats the gifts, and he eats the gold. Did it specify that he ate the wedding party? Or, I assume he did, but...
I think so.
Yeah. But as he's there, the bride's like, no, not now. It's funny because Tahm Kench imitate, almost mocking. On Fester or whatever. I don't know. Uncle Fester. Whatever. And he's like, I'm sorry. He's like, I'm sorry. I got this this burning in my belly to fill it up, and this is the last time, I swear. And she's like, oh, okay, that's cool. Now let me turn around and just not look at you. And then Tahm Kench eats her, and I assume the gambler. He only talks about eating her and crunching up her bones and stuff. But
this was one of the very few times that Tahm Kench has done something sort of sadistic, where after he eats the wife, he does it right in front of the new husband, right in front of the gambler, from the very beginning to after a very visceral description of him cracking his jaw open to consume her. How I visualized it, the way that he described it, was you were the fool that let me in, and then ends the story. So it's one of the very few times where Tahm Kench does something to terrify someone at the very end.
Sure. Sort of digs it into him at the end there.
A very Game of Thrones sort of death. In a way.
I think it's one of those because his technical what he's feeding on in all of these cases is somebody's sense of loss.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those I can probably make him feel even worse about this. I need to make sure he knows this is all his fault.
And also, you're ugly. He's really digging it in.
Just rolls a quick cutting words.
But yeah, and then the whole thing is kind of told through these, I guess, almost storybook pages that sort of are flying across the surface of this river and falling in and stuff. So you kind of see the little images of the story happening. But yeah, I like it.
I do prefer... Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
I was just going to say, I prefer his other deceptions a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, this one, he just sort of, he let him go somewhere and then just showed up later and ate everything. He didn't, really torture him across the span of time. It's fine. It's still pretty neat for a teaser. I do wish that, I wish it rhymed, because the way he talks... This is such a nitpick shit, but the way he talks, he has these specific sort of pauses as if there is a rhyming structure that is there, but it's not, and I find it very frustrating to listen to a little bit. Where it's and every now and then there's lines that sort of rhyme. I don't know. It's just. I
think you've been reading too many baby books, Mark. Maybe.
Maybe I have. Old Tahm Kench, he's sitting on the bench.
Right.
Came to the wedding and
Tahm Kench baby book.
Oh, I would absolutely read.
I really wish Riot would make, maybe not a baby book, but think scary stories to tell in the dark, something with a really cool art style about the demons they've got. Maybe not Evelyn.
The demons.
She's a little more PG-13, but Tahm Kench, Fiddlesticks. Maybe you can introduce a couple new ones. That could be cool.
Yeah, I'd buy that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've been talking
considering
about
that the new Willip game is going to be something that I feel like they could advertise to a lot more younger audience as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And then have Tahm Kench show up and eat.
No, I'll save you, Willip. I'll save you.
A lovely TV dinner.
Now, Tahm Kench is also mentioned in several stories.
Oh.
So, first up, we have An Intimate Evening at Oyster Bill's, where Graves says, "Sweet Tommy Kench." Next up, we have The Boys in Bombolini, where Graves says, "Sweet Tommy Kench." Look at that sucker burn.
They're we gotta mention Tahm Kench for.
He's also in The Will of the Dead, which is that new Alawi Yorick piece. He's just referenced, there's a line in there, "You cannot kill him," Bartek told Alawi. His lips parted in a wide, toothy smile like the River King's catfish mouth. He shows up in Shadow and Fortune, Chapter 2. She grinned through her fear, this is Misfortune, as she spun into cover behind a weather-worn stone bollard of the River King to reload. On impulse, she leaned over and gave his toothy grin a kiss.
Huh.
What a whore.
I know, Tahm Kench will just let anybody kiss him, I swear.
I know, right?
And
he's a
the last...
gentleman.
He is, The last thing is actually in the Ruined King game. There's a journal entry from a lady.
A lady.
Which reads, "Dearest brother, my dreams are coming true. Adams asked for my hand in marriage. Who could have guessed that a longshoreman's daughter like me could take the hand of a Demacian lord? It's as they say, anything is possible in Bilgewater, particularly if the River King is involved. You see, to Adam, I was always a wealthy merchant's daughter. The River King is taking care of it. He's a good blessing for a wedding. And don't protest. The plans are already coming together. Adam's family will take care of most of it. My portion comes through an inheritance from my merchant father. The River King's provided that for me, too. Problem is, for all Adam knows, I'm an only child, so I can't have you at the wedding. And we probably won't talk for some time. If you love me, you'll understand. You have your slaughter docks, and I have this. Take care, and have fun working at the docks, my dear brother."
Are you fucking kidding me? You dick.
Imagine getting that letter. What the fuck?
I feel like even Tahm Kench would be insulted.
Well, I never said he couldn't come to the wedding. Like, he can come to the wedding. You just do that shit in yourself.
The more the merrier.
Right.
So I have a bit from the Champion Insights here too, where they're talking about his kit, right? And it sounds really strong, and it's kind of like an imaginary Q&A. So the imaginary question here is, "But Xenon, how is that fair? I just spent all my CC on this guy. We were about to kill him, and then suddenly General Gulp comes in and whisks him away." Well, yes, imaginary FAQ person, but let me tell you about a few things I added in to help balance things a little. First of all, as I mentioned, while Tahm Kench has a pretty swell Devour ability, he lacks a lot of the traditional tools that tanks usually carry around. He can't lock down enemies at will, for instance, and he has absolutely no utility AoE tools.
Oh, wow.
That your average punching bag usually brings to a fight. Secondly, while eating an ally to keep them safe is super clutch, the ability does come with some baked-in drawbacks. It's short range, meaning Tom, who will not be the tankiest man in the game, will have to stand close to your team. Which, man,
They really
none of this aged
undid
well.
all that.
Like, you fools! You ruined it!
Yeah.
That's so. No wonder they don't want you to find this anymore.
Right?
Fuck. That's very funny.
So funny.
Man, I would have
Great.
really preferred a Tahm Kench sort of like scandal. Like,
Like his news got leaked.
Right?
and I feel like he
What does
would
he
own
look
up to
like
it
under
too.
those two coats? What's he hiding?
What's he hiding?
Does he have two of anything else? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think he looks anything like this picture he sent me. I think he's catfishing me.
Hey. We should have stopped you when we had the chance.
Oh
And he's gone.
It would have been him secretly who wrote the article about himself to like satiate people's greed.
I think
Like, oh man, I really want to see what Tahm Kench looks like underneath those two coats of his.
I gotta be honest, we're joking around a lot. I don't want to see what Tahm Kench looks like under the. You know what? I do. I don't know why I said
You
that.
really flip flop and you're just like,
Morbid curiosity here.
you're tempted. He's like, I know I shouldn't, but I must. I gotta see what.
It's like a car accident. I gotta get a peek, you know?
There's nothing much underneath his two coats.
The plush has nothing.
Oh, they didn't make they didn't
I
make
don't
him
think they got it
anatomically accurate.
accurately.
Him. Yeah.
Not lore accurate plush.
Not
then.
more accurate.
Fuck.
Now he's also been a couple cinematics too, or a few, 3. Technically more than a couple.
Sure.
Yeah.
So he shows up in Ignite, the 2016 World's Anthem, where right at the end, when Faker's team is doing their final push, Tahm Kench eats his ash, which.
That's
all right.
a good sign.
Before Warwick can get her, but he gets wrecked by Meganar anyway.
Nice.
That was probably when he wasn't the tankiest man in the
I
game.
think so, probably.
Yeah.
And then in the giant cinematic, there are Master Chef Tahm Kench and Culinary Master food menus.
Ooh.
And then there's the Monuments of Power cinematic, which is when he got released into Legends of Runeterra, which is a very different and kind of badass view of Tahm Kench, where he's just washing through Bilgewater, fucking flooding everything, and he's bigger than the entire city and just like consuming the whole thing. It's cool as hell.
He's like Brendan Fraser's The Mummy style, like big
Exactly
water
like
ball. It is very
If
cool.
they ever do like either like a live action, like back to action sort of movie, or they do like a animated, I want Brendan Fraser to voice act Tahm Kench.
I want the guy who
just-
voice
or
acts
just
Tahm
dresses
Kench.
him.
Yeah. I want Brendan Fraser to play Tahm Kench, but Tahm Kench's voice actor is also in the suit.
The suit
Does
is-
that make sense?
No.
Yeah, I get it.
Like both of them, like Brendan Fraser and the voice actor.
And the
are
voice
both
actor.
Oh, that's why you need two
Yeah,
coats, because
gotcha.
there's two. Okay, yeah.
There's two
Yeah.
people.
Two men in there. Yeah.
Two
yeah.
men.
Tom Kench is just two dudes in a trench coat.
He's like the little rascals.
knew it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, I've got a little quote game for you here.
Okay.
I blacked it out so that you wouldn't
I did
accidentally
see.
look
I'll
ahead,
look over
so.
here. Let me get my wine though first.
Now,
I will say I
now
did
you're gonna have to. Oh,
I did read his quotes relatively recently, so I'll try and
Mark.
It's alright, you do your best, Mark.
I'm gonna read 10 quotes.
okay.
You need to tell me if this is a Tahm Kench quote or some bullshit that I just made up.
Okay, I like it. Try to pull a little fastball on us.
I was sitting here for the past, I apologize. I was sitting here for the past 40 minutes of who you were going to do the comparison with, and now it's just
John.
random bullshit. Right? It's just John.
It's me, baby.
Tom Kench or John. We wanted to. I was
Tom
because
Kench.
John told me about this, and I was like, I wish we had written down over the years some of the shit that Mark has said, because if is it Tom Kench or is it Mark would have been a great fucking game.
Really great.
Because Mark will just lay down these wild Tom Kench like lines that you're like, what?
If you guys ever do a revisit episode, that'd be a great game.
That
to
would
play
be really
during.
good.
All right. Okay, we'll see.
All right, go ahead.
Girl, you're crazier than a mouse in moonshine.
A mouse in moonshine. I'm gonna say that's some shit you made up. I think you would start with a Tom Kench, but I don't know. I'm just going with some shit you made up.
I think it's Tahm Kench.
That's definitely Tom Kench. I know that. That was the
Mark
quote I
was it.
almost did.
I think.
Oh, nice.
I think
That is Tahm Kench to Diana.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Diana.
I know, it's such a
Yes.
weird pick. I would assume
I
like
thought it was
Jinx
gonna be
maybe?
Jinx or
Right?
something. Yeah.
I actually thought,
I
yeah.
played Tahm Kench very recently, and weirdly enough, it was against Diana.
Oh, there you
That's
go.
exactly what he
You got
said.
the
All right,
inside
I'll
track.
answer all these first because I don't play Tom Kench
All right.
at all. So
I say, you're as graceful as an eel on horseback.
I can't do this game. They all sound like some shit that you'd say.
But it also sounds like some shit that Tahm Kench would say.
I'll say it's Tom Kench.
I'd say it's John.
I think that's a John OG.
That's a John OG.
God damn it. I'm not going to get any of these.
Girl, you're as appealing as a cake in the rain.
John. That's John.
That's Tom Kench.
Shit.
Tahm Kench?
That is Tahm Kench to Jana.
What?
Somebody left the cake out in the rain. Is that song right?
Not that I've ever heard. Did you just
gonna-
make up a cake in the rain song?
No, that's actually.
Is this the Cake by the Ocean song I've been hearing so much about?
That's from
He's
Space
confusing
Ghost,
Cake
Coast
by
to
the
Coast.
Ocean and November Rain. It's from Space Ghost.
Oh, Purple Rain. I see.
You're as elegant as an outhouse in a leper colony.
Jesus Christ.
That's horrible. Do they have people with leprosy in the Runeterra universe? John did this. And don't call them lepers. It's very insulting. John.
Oh my god, John.
Well, don't worry, John. You're off the hook because that's Tom Kench.
That is Tahm Kench to Caitlin.
Well,
What?
someone should tell Riot that that's like a really degrading term. And they shouldn't use it.
All right. Noted. Girl, you're a few arrows short of a quiver.
Alright. Is that to Quinn? And I'll say it's Tahm Kench. Everybody else guess.
I'm gonna say it's Nar.
Oh, I like
It's
that.
Nar.
I think that's John.
Like, that's not a Tahm Kench or John quote. It's a
Tom
Nar
Kench.
quote.
Nar quote.
That's his monster energy
Quench.
drink spinoff. Tom Kench.
Quench your
They're
thirst.
stupid Red Bull
Quench that
ads.
greed.
Oh, the Red Bull ads. That would be great. You're
Quench
welcome,
that
Ryan.
greed.
Give me 10K for that.
Red Bull gives you fins.
Yeah.
No. That one was a miss.
Damn.
It's okay. They can't all be winners, hon. You had some good ones this episode.
You missed all the shots.
Oh.
Who is that? Was that? We never got the answer on that one.
That was 2 Tahm Kenches and a John vote.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
No, that was a Nar vote. What the fuck
Yeah,
were you
right.
talking
Sorry,
about?
that was a Johnism. That's not a Tahm Kench quote. Although
The
there
arrows
is,
threw me off.
there is a very similar Tahm Kench quote that says, "You're a few candles short of a lantern" to Jax.
That's
pretty
a
good.
one.
I'm surprised you didn't have any quotes to Jax about like all you want is eggs.
I have so many eggs over here.
I don't have enough.
Let me introduce you to calamari.
You're a
Do
dozen
you have
eggs
any
short.
idea
You're
how
a
many
dozen eggs
eggs fish
short.
lay?
You're a dozen eggs short of a chicken.
I like that chicken is only eggs. That's just,
Right? It's just under the feathers is just eggs. You look as bright as shadow in the shade.
You,
I actually don't know. I
Tom
think
Kench.
that's John. Yeah.
John?
That one is me.
That's too clever.
I have literally gotten every single one of these wrong, by the way.
That's like too good.
You're as quick as a turtle on molasses.
Tahm Kench.
My grandma.
It's Tahm Kench.
That's Tahm Kench to Yasuo. Boy, you're as strategic as plate mail in a thunderstorm.
That's really clever if you came up with that.
I don't. He's been playing a lot of Tears of the Kingdom, so I'm going to say it was John.
Yeah, I think that's John. Again, too clever. Too clever for your own good, my friend.
That is a Johnism.
I got one right!
Woo!
Fuck yeah. I know my man. Clearly.
Your mustache is as sad as a guppy on a hook.
That is Tahm Kench to Graves.
I think that's also
Tahm Kench.
John.
Your guess, Jamie?
Tahm Kench.
That is a Johnism.
Damn.
We came up with that one.
That's a good one. I like. That's a really clever
What was
one.
it? A mustache on a what?
Yeah.
What was it again?
Your mustache is as sad as a guppy on a hook. I actually struggled the most with that one, trying to think of what would be sad. I was like, what else is sad in the world?
John's just too happy. His wife is just too amazing, and like, he can't
true.
think of sadness. Aw, thanks, son.
And then final one. You're as subtle as a golden codpiece.
Yes, Tahm Kench. I know that one.
Oh well, you ruined
I
it for
shouldn't. I'm
Rebecca.
sorry. I'm sorry.
I have no stakes in this.
That
Yeah,
was
same.
Tahm Kench to Darius.
I got no fish in this pool.
Yeah,
don't put
those
fish in a pool.
that
You might.
You know
I
what,
don't know.
Mark?
you put them in bilge water where they
trying to
can
think of
trick
something
people
related
into.
really fast.
No, it's good. It's
Anything
good.
can
It's
be a
good.
pool, Mark. Shut up.
That's true.
Hey, that's facts. Anything can be a pool, folks.
Come on. Dive on in. It's a pool, I promise.
Now Tahm Kench just has so many amazing quotes here. I didn't write all the ones down that I liked, but I did write down a bunch of his insults that I thought were funny. We have to a collie here. Hiding in smoke, young lady, you're as sharp as a bag of slugs. To a moo, I say you're as fun as a leaky roof.
I say.
I say.
To Ash, girl, you got as much foresight as a blindfolded mole. And then, these are my favorites. These were to Azir. He really fucking dogs him.
Yes.
Son, your empire was built on sand. You're the emperor, of mashed potatoes and gravy.
So
Yo,
stupid.
I would take that though.
An emperor as humble as he is beloved.
I like that
That's
one.
really
That's a good
fucking
one.
good. The other two were iffy. I thought he was gonna dog him about being a slave owner, but that one's good too.
Let's see. To Brahm, my mustache will eat your.
That's so mean, Tom. I was about to be on his side for dogging his ear, but
You're strong like bull and smart like cow.
the Brahm.
Yeah, also to Brahm.
Oh no, Brahm's so smart.
So smart.
Yeah.
See, the funny
Let's
thing
see.
is, though, I feel like Brahm would be the type of person that would think would be that's really funny.
Right, he
Yeah.
would
I-
love that.
I agree. I think he would really.
Oh, that's his laugh.
Oh, thank you.
Santa Brahm.
Yeah.
Then he's got the Tagarin. You live by a code that'll never let you get what you want. Let me take you to her. And then to Katerina.
Oh.
Oh,
Don't starve your heart, child. Let me deliver you to him.
Oh. Little Cupid Tahm Kench here. Cupid Kench.
How come they don't have that
Just
fucking
with his
shit?
tongue.
Yeah. Like it.
Oh, I'd love that.
Yeah.
Jace. Dumber than a box of hammers.
Yeah.
And let's see. To Timo. You're as likable as a rat in a bridal shop.
Aww.
But
I
it's-
like you, Timo.
In the wiki, they spell it Bridle, like a horse bridle, not like.
Like your
It's like
Oh.
I guess that's-
that makes more sense.
I suppose,
you know,
but it's a
I
lot
I
less.
imagine they wouldn't be liked in either
get
of
it.
them.
I feel like it's worse in a bride, like here comes the bride bridal shop. They probably don't give as much of a shit about rats in a horse shop. I don't know. What the fuck do I know?
I mean, maybe he like chews
horse
through
shop.
the straps, so you
Okay.
like attach the bridle and then
Maybe
you
he
just
scares the
climb in and
horses.
fall off.
Are horses spooked by rats?
no, that's elephants.
Everything's spooked by rats, according to cartoons.
that's true.
John knows all of his all of his knowledge of the universe is exclusively from cartoons.
100%.
Tom's not spooked. Well, Jerry's a mouse. I guess that doesn't count.
But that's canon Tahm Kench. What y'all think?
It's great. There's I like Mark. There's not a lot here, but I felt like that was good. That was what I needed. I think all I need now is just in general more info about the demons. And if I ever get anything more about Tahm Kench, it would be like it just related to that. Like about his backstory or anything like that. Just knowing more about the demons and maybe where they come from, their knowledge of each other, and if they ever interact with each other would be really interesting.
I would like more. I'd like him to show up in more places like the Ruined King, where he
yeah,
doesn't show up, but you
I
hear
like that,
stories
yeah.
about him told by other people. I think
also
that's a really
more
cool.
of these legends is just really fun if they ever want to release more of those.
Sure. Yeah. More like an Orin treatment, right? It's just more and more
Yeah,
stories. Tons of fun. I will say
Yeah.
he is in Legends of Runeterra. I didn't find a ton to speak about, but because his card plays alongside Soraka, they have some lines, and I love that the interaction is like Soraka, like, I'll find the good in you yet, Tahm Kench, and I love the idea of that, like a situational comedy with those two, where
Oh my god.
she's like, she's the plucky, like, always ever helpful, and he's just like, ugh.
It's like Chidi and Eleanor from The Good Place.
I love the idea of Tahm Kench.
Oh no, Eleanor's Tahm Kench. That makes more sense. I was like, hang on.
Tahm Kench quoting philosophy.
I was so confused. I was like, oh, Chidi is a little Ciroc. You're right. So cute.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Jamie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course.
Do you have any? You have anything you want to plug before you head out? Any socials or streams or anything like that?
I wish. If you ever listen to this in the future, I may have anything named under Jamie Justice. But for now, I usually hop on during the streams. But you may be able to find me in the Discord. But for now, thank you so much for having me. This was terrifically fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. It was great
Yeah,
to have
thank you.
Yeah.
Tons of fun, man.
And I love that your plug just doubled as a plug for our stream. It was great. You can see Jamie Justice on the League of Loreheads Twitch channel. Every Saturday.
Saturday. That doesn't roll off the tongue, is it?
Yeah, no. Well, thank you so much, buddy. Of
course.
And, we'll of course see you around.
We'll probably see you on Saturday.
We're always at our stream.
That's true. Well, he is. I'm not.
I think you're there more than
I
like
do
I
come
am.
in on Mondays, but Mondays are usually ones I work like very late.
Mm-hmm.
So I just crash immediately.
Nice.
No worries.
Okay. Bye-bye.
So long, friend.
Later, man.
Now, he's part of a few AUs.
Just a few.
Just a few. First up, we got The Grind, which is where they stuff the Earth the Manatee skins.
Okay.
Which seems like they just maybe couldn't find a good place for those. But in loving memory of Earth, a gentle sea cow warrior who now practices with his spatula in the shallow marshes of the great beyond. Good night, sweet prince. And this one is Tahm Kench, which has no lore.
Sure.
Next up, we got Culinary Masters. Culinary Masters, the incredibly popular cooking competition reality series, is streaming now, everywhere, on all platforms. All 1,000 episodes from each of the 50 seasons. Even Culinary Masters Superstars and Celebrity Culinary Masters. Start binging today. This one is Master Chef Tahm Kench. He's the sushi singer, the loquacious pescatarian, the big catfish with a big fish dish. He'll prep you a meal, then cut you a deal. Here comes Tahm Kench. Then we got Arcana. High above Arcana, the archetypes, living patterns that shape reality itself, struggle to trace their vision upon the chaos below them. The archetypes recruit perceptive citizens of the world below to amplify their hidden patterns, and the more who magnify an archetype's pattern, the more the world reflects their grand design. This one is Arcana Tahm Kench. The epitome of power and opulence, Tahm Kench's power drips from his tongue. Its ornate patterns captivate and cajole his listeners. He leverages those he rules, staking his powers to ensure the patterns always shift in his favor, correcting his subjects who have gone astray.
Is it cajole or cajole?
It's cajole,
Okay.
I think. Right after I said it, I was like, that was wrong, but it was too late. I was on a roll. I was on a Corolla.
You're in the zone.
Corolla. He was in his Corolla.
Sorry, I mean, like, I know you said a lot, like a whole thing, and like the only thing I zoom in on is like, uh-oh, John just said something wrong.
What a fucking idiot.
Well, I'll just...
That's one of those words I've only ever read, and so I don't know how to say it. So I didn't even notice. I was like, oh, I didn't know that's how you said that.
Oh. But fajitas and H, why not cajole?
Oh, that's that you said it again. It's so fucking dumb. Oh.
Well, fuck me.
You're just digging yourself deeper into that hole.
Oh no. Jamie came back on camera just to shake his head at me.
You know what's great is you're gonna have to crop around all that shit. By the way, my video keeps changing position.
Fuck it. He can just, it's fine. He can stay there.
Let's see. Next we got Shanghai Scrolls.
Sean?
Maybe. Who fucking knows?
I feel bad because there's nothing more embarrassing to me than when I say a word wrong and I feel terrible. And like now I'm so sorry I'm making fun of you. I genuinely don't think you're stupid. After the whole time.
Thank you for saying that. I'm glad we got that out there.
When the fabled Shan or Shanghai Scrolls, gods and mythical creatures roam magical lands, wielding the power of the elements. Some are content to live with the palette they've been given, while others wish to jump beyond the borders and paint their lives with a new brush. And
this is cool.
I know, right? I don't think I'd ever actually seen it before. This is Sean/Shan High Scrolls Tahm Kench. Once a catfish, Tahm Kench dreamed of becoming a dragon. Aww. Upon Jin's release from his waterfall prison, a magical pearl was unearthed at its base, catching both Tom and Kog'Maw's eyes. Snatching it first, Tom transformed into a dragon, god of currents, and unleashed a maelstrom of startling ferocity, laughing at the ensuing destruction.
Nice.
I feel like, I could be wrong, I feel like, isn't there like an actual, like, I might be Chinese, I could be wrong, like folktale about like a carp or something that turns into a dragon or something like that. It makes me wonder if that's in reference to it all. I don't know. I have no, potentially, right? Big maybe. Sorry.
I like it.
Sure.
All right. Next we got Lunar New Year, and this is part of the Lunar Revel line. It's time to look back, to celebrate with family and friends, to join together and remember all that has happened, the good and the bad. And as the fireworks light up the night sky, we look forward to a new year filled with wonderful memories with the ones we hold dear. This one is Coin Emperor Tahm Kench. Craving the smell of coins over all other earthly delights, Tahm Kench rises from his river kingdom each lunar revel, seeking to barter with mortals. Though his targets are almost always left destitute, with the proper reverence and careful wording, it is possible to escape his bargains unimaginably wealthy. And there's a cinematic to go with this one, too. Fortune favors the lucky, which we talked a bit about in the Silas episode, but here are some Tahm Kench details we didn't delve in on because it wasn't important at the time. So, while Vane and Sejuani are chasing around the little pig who kind of stole their Lunar New Year envelope, the pig runs into Tahm Kench, who looks at him hungrily. And then the scene kind of shifts to Silas and Vane fighting, and Silas is actually winning at that point, but then Tom pops up and eats Vane. In his stomach, Vane finds the pig, which Tahm Kench has apparently also eaten. And she gets something from that pig, and then pops out of Tahm Kench's belly with a super pig-empowered crossbow, which is how she was able to 1v1 Silas, that and his awful gameplay.
Okay.
Ouch.
Damn.
Which I'm pretty sure her ult in that skin gives her like a piggy crossbow.
Oh, okay. Neat.
Interesting.
And then, finally, we got High Noon Gothic. At the height of the Industrial Revolution, travelers begin pouring into the untamed West, searching for fortune and prosperity among the unknown horrors of a cruel and ancient world. It is a time of brave gunslingers and rotten scoundrels, inscrutable gods and savage demons. And this one is High Noon Tahm Kench, who is the fourth harbinger. Tahm Kench is a magnanimous devil, happy to lend a magical sword to a lady in need, or to assist her in robbing the sulfur rail, or even to deliver her to a calamitous destiny as a fellow harbinger of the end of time. He don't need no compensation. She'll just owe him a favor, because in the end, it pays to have friends. And he is mentioned in the short story, The Stranger on the Road, which is mostly a Talon piece, but there is a prophecy in it that talks about the 5 harbingers, and it includes this. From the east, the 4th harbinger travels through the deep waters of the world, his appetite for all things unsated and unstoppable. He'll consume everything until there ain't nothing left to consume. It's very Tahm Kenchy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tahm Kench. Is that your nickname for him?
Kenchy Poo.
Kenchy Poo.
I got some fun facts here.
Yay.
Cool.
Tahm Kench is voiced by Pat Duke.
Nice. Awesome job.
Yep.
You did it. You did it, Pat.
Avid listener of our podcast, Pat Duke.
Pat Duke. Get in the comments, Pat Duke. He was in production for 7 months, during which time he was called Fish Tank, Fez Tank, Two Coats, and Two Coats with a K.
No longer 2 coats,
But
but 2 coats.
Which I think they did it with a K because the KOA in Coats is, kind of similar to Koi there. But it's, an A instead of an I, so I don't know. Fuck me, I guess.
I don't think so, John.
I don't know why else they do it. Why is it just got a K now? It's still just two
It's
coats.
like Tahm Kench.
But his name was Tuco.
Yeah, I just love that they clearly came up with the fish tank thing first, and then they're like, okay, we'll figure out a champion that's that. But fish tank is fucking hilarious, so what can we do with that?
Before Tahm Kench's release, his laughter could be heard if a champion laughed while standing in Summoner's Rift River.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's pretty cool.
Only once per match, and only by the champion who was laughing.
That would scare the shit out of me. Are you kidding?
Right?
Right? It's this creepy laugh.
They got to do more of that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, they kind of do for most champion
That's
releases.
true. We
They have
just
these
don't
tiny
notice
things.
them.
Yeah.
We don't play enough Rift to notice.
That's fair.
Until they put it on ARAM like they did for Volibear.
Yeah.
Yeah, more.
Which was
Scared
terrifying.
the shit out of me. Tahm Kench represents the foibles of mankind, an individual's inner flaws. His name and appearance change from culture to culture and person to person. And I mentioned before, his current name comes from a Bilgewater gambler who appears in his teaser video, while his in-game appearance is based on how people from Bilgewater see him, as he's kind of more culturally important and relevant there. He has no real name, no form of his own, only those that he takes.
Neat.
Tahm Kench can eat whatever he wants, but his specific appetites are only sated when he strikes a bargain. The River King would view the newly flowing rivers in Shurima as a new market opening up for fresh deals with naive mortals.
Ooh, I love that.
Can be pretty fun. Seems like you have a lot of people. Yeah.
A lot of desperate people in
Yes.
Shurima,
Yeah.
for sure.
Tahm Kench is one of the few champions who can apply crowd control to themselves. Tahm Kench's dance has him play his own theme song with his tongue, kind of strumming on it like a banjo.
Really, that's funny.
And if he dances near Rift Scuttle, she'll dance with him.
Aww.
Scuttle shows up in that teaser. Now that I think about it, steals one of the pages.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also shows up in Rift Scuttle is what he is cooking in the Master Chef.
Oh,
really?
no. What happens after they dance? Love them and leave them, Tom. Love them and eat them, really.
Right. He's cooking a Rift Scuttle and he's got a Poro in a cage.
Oh, rough.
Ruin. Champion Ruin.
This is the Ruin King. The
Right.
true Ruin
Yeah.
King.
The ruined River King.
He should have some line towards Viego about that shit. That'd be good, actually.
Right?
Yeah, that would be really good.
Yeah. I mean, if he came out after Viego, he
Yeah,
for sure
yeah.
would have. Tahm Kench's design and playstyle may be loosely based on the Banderhob, who's a toad-like creature from Forgotten Realms, which kidnaps unsuspecting victims by swallowing them alive and carrying them to its master's lair.
I will. Okay.
In Valorant, on the Ascent map, which is mid-bottom, I guess, or in the mid-bottom, there's a park bench crafted in Tahm Kench's likeness, which is most likely a reference to the Unbenched the Kench meme.
That's fantastic.
Okay. Well, now we gotta go play Valorant again. We gotta defend that Kench bench.
And we talked about this a little bit too, but Tahm Kench has an active contract with shipowner Jack, the winner, who runs fighting rings and other enterprises, and he frequents his establishments looking for forlorn patrons. And the contract itself can be seen in his level up animation in Legends of Runeterra. Signed by Jack.
Yep.
And that's Tahm Kench.
That's Tahm Kench.
That's Tahm Kench.
It is.
I like it.
Yeah, any final thoughts?
I would like Riot to put out a skin line that is the trial of the century, and they introduce simple country lawyer Tahm Kench, who is the rival lawyer to Gragas Esquire, and then you get a judge like Judge Jace with his hammer, a court reporter to sit alongside news reporter like Weather Girl Jana or whatever. I don't know, like shit like that.
That is so good.
Right. And actually, I mean, that does remind me, we talked about this a little bit in the Callista episode, but there is kind of like a little tidbit that Callista has been sent after Tahm Kench by
really?
a lot of people, but never, he always has a contract, so he never actually betrayed anyone. So
No,
he
that
gets
I
off
do want to
scot-free.
see. I want to see the
I
arbitration of
love that.
Callista. Say contract heretofore had dry ink on it for many a fortnight.
Somebody did that.
He always eats them.
Yes.
Somebody did that fan art for us. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
During the Callista episode, somebody drew
yeah.
drew that
Shit.
courtroom scene of Tahm Kench and Callista in arbitration.
Wow,
That's
it's been,
so
Oh my
good.
god. Man, it's been so long since
Thank you
Callista.
so much for that artwork. It was amazing. I love it still. Yeah, that's
And
Kench.
that was Tahm Kench. Thank you so much for listening. We have a Twitter. It's at Loreheads, and a Twitch that we mentioned, twitch.tv/Loreheads. John plays TFT and ARAMs with viewers on Saturday evenings EST. And then I do Summoner's Rift with John and Mark and some other friends sometimes. Not with viewers, but you can watch us lose or win. That's League.
We'll do one of those too.
I'm also trying to stream Palea. Thursday is looking like it's probably going to be better, so I'm probably going to stream tomorrow, which obviously is in the past, but the VOD should be there. If you want some just chill, quiet Palea, as I complain about not being able to romance the older characters in the game, because you can only romance like the 20-year-olds, and I'm like, I don't want this kid. I want his mom. His mom's hot as hell. What's up, YouTube? Where we post these videos and clips and things like that. And we have a Discord if you want to join in with people, find some people to play with League with. Hop on in there. And we have a Patreon. We just posted, oh my god, which one did we just post?
Ionia
Oh, the
versus
Ionia
Noxus
versus
show match.
Noxus show match. And I'm about to post, probably tonight or tomorrow, us talking about the Mario Brothers movie. The new one, not the one from the 90s. Although you can also find us talking about the 90s Super Mario Brothers movie. Thank you so much to all of our patrons.
But a very special thank you to our Medarda tier patrons, Big Man Gnomes, King of Hearts, Shupa Mustache, Trideca, and changing his name to a much more reasonable length at this time that did not break Patreon, Joe Mama.
That's great.
Nice.
So if you were stuck in a deal with the River King, I would stand in your place so you wouldn't lose more of you.
Beautiful.
Trying
You
to
have
fool
some
Kench.
luscious hair to offer Tahm Kench.
So many locks.
Okay.
Well, please be sure to join us next week as we talk about the Stone Weaver, Talia.